Hey there, and welcome to another episode of the After Hours Chats podcast. Tiffany here, and I am here with another really cool guest. And especially since I've really been kind of getting more into cryptids recently with my recent trip to Point Pleasant to explore a little bit more of the Mothman, and I've been looking into the Dogman and all that stuff too. So, but I'm here with somebody who's been researching these bad boys, these cryptids, for quite some time. And yes, I would love for you to introduce yourself, state your name, what exactly it is you do, how long you've been researching these cryptids for. So I'll give you the floor.
First off, thanks for having me on. My name is Brian Seech, and I met Tiffany years ago at a Beaver County Ghost Hunters Conference. This is the first time I met you, and I reconnected with the Christine Solstice panels.
Yeah, Christine's panels. Yes.
Yeah.
I've had Christine on here too, so yeah.
Yeah, and she actually, you looked familiar, and then she says, "Oh, well, Tiffany." I said, "Wait, are you Tiffany Upon?" I met her at a. So yeah, I thought it was pretty cool. But anyway.
Yeah, it was funny because I saw you wave to me, and I was like, he looks familiar. I couldn't quite place where I knew you, but I was like, he looks familiar, so I'll wave back, Yeah, that's how we reconnected. So yeah.
So yeah, basically, my name's Brian Seech. My wife Terry and I, we run two organizations. The first is the Center for Unexplained Events, which actually celebrates its 40th year.
Woo.
So yeah, 40th year investigating all facets of the unknown. Our other group we started in 2012 is the Center for Cryptozoological Studies. We actually formed that group because we felt that we weren't getting enough cryptid reports, Bigfoot reports, things like that, because Q is kind of a broad spectrum title. We actually, do everything basically. We do a little bit of paranormal research, which is not that much anymore. UFO research, we both used to be in MUFON. And then cryptid research, and not just Bigfoot. We research the other cooler guys too, like Mothman, Dogman, any kind of winged entities, things like that. And so we've been doing it for 40 some years. It's been a passion for us. We have a huge library that we call our S files instead of the X files.
Yeah.
And we've had a lot of top-notch authors and researchers come down here. We actually live right now. We live in outside of a holler in Weirton, West Virginia.
Mm-hmm.
And if you look at a map, we're between PA and Ohio. We always like to say that we live on the tip of the middle finger of West Virginia. So,
I love it.
We're loving it down here. It's a lot cheaper than living in PA, honestly. So that's why we moved down. Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. Because I was like I said, I was just in Point Pleasant, West Virginia, and although my hotel was like right on the Ohio and West Virginia border, and I was like, yeah, man, things are so much cheaper here than in Pennsylvania,
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
I was lucky enough to speak actually twice at the Mothman Festival, and I've been down there about 7 or 8 times, and maybe a chance I'll be there this year. Can't say 100% sure, but yeah.
yeah. I love like Point Pleasant. That there's just something about that place that I don't know. There's just so much mystery, so much lore, and so much and also just history there too. Even history that has not really a lot to do with the Mothman. But it's such a fascinating little place. Whether you're going for the Mothman. I mean, I think most people go there for the Mothman, but there's also other cool little things there too. And I definitely plan to go back there again. But you've been researching cryptids for quite some time, as you stated. What originally got you interested in this line of work and in researching these creatures and what they might be or might not be?
Well, basically, growing up in the 70s, I would watch In Search of, Unsolved Mysteries, things like that. And I've always been a UFO and monster geek, and people know I'm just a big kid. I'm a 61-year-old kid now. I still love my Star Wars, my Godzilla movies, everything, UFOs. And so I started to buy, maybe about 74, 75, I started to buy UFO magazines. And in some of those
Nice.
magazines, believe it or not, they had talked about uh, UFOs in conjunction with Bigfoot. And
Hmm.
sometimes people were seeing these creatures either come out of a UFO or UFO hovering close
Yeah.
by or sometimes up above. And I was hooked since. I was hooked since then.
Hmm. Yeah. Hey, that's no, I mean, we all have that gateway drug as to like what got us into all that stuff. And, for me it was just, having an early fascination just with like horror movies and even seeing some of like the really old school horror films from like the very early part of the 20th century, and like Creature from the Black Lagoon, all that stuff. And and then it's like, of course, you start to watch like TV shows, TV specials, Ancient Aliens, all that stuff that
Yeah. Yeah.
covers all that stuff, and then you start to really go down that rabbit hole. But what in all your studies about cryptids, which one fascinates you the most, holds your attention the most, or is your area of study the most, and why?
Well, I'd have to say, and anybody that knows me knows that it's Bigfoot.
Bigfoot,
Um,
yeah.
yeah, if you remember at the podcast, I called him the King Cryptid, the rock star of cryptids. Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
There's probably more information on Bigfoot than any other, almost
Mhm.
all the other cryptids combined. It's just, from Indian lore to
Yeah.
sightings across the whole globe, actually, different kind of creatures,
Mhm.
like the Yeren or the abominable snowman, things like that, and
Yeah.
all ape-like creatures. So yeah, it's been one of the easiest to follow too. I'm actually going to, it looks like about a half hour after our podcast is done, talk to a couple who's apparently having some kind of activity on their property not too far from here. So
Oh,
I'm
wow.
looking forward to. Yeah, it's a busy night for me. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, cool. And what are your, because in addition to the Mothman, and I know at the last panel, like it got into a little bit of like a good natured, Mothman or Bigfoot, like who wins kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I've also developed like a recent like fascination with Dogman, which I know is a very prominent cryptid in Ohio. So what are your thoughts on that, if you've looked into that at all?
Oh yeah, we were one of the first. Myself, my wife, and Fred Saluga, who unfortunately he passed away in December, and I think you
Yeah.
saw him at the last, not this panel, the panel before. And well, how we got into that? It's a quick little story, but so I was reading a book, Hunting the American Werewolf by Linda Godfrey. She's
Hmm.
actually the one who brought the Dogman phenomena to the surface from
Yeah.
Elkhorn, Wisconsin. And so I'm reading this book, Hunting the American Werewolf. I'm paging through it. And I'm looking at it. I make this really weird face. I mean, I always make weird faces, but this is an even weirder one. And my wife's looking. She goes, "What's wrong?" And I looked at her. And we lived up in Mercer County
Hmm.
for 3 years. Okay, I think it was 97 through 99 or something like
Okay.
that. Never heard of it. I said, "We lived in Mercer, and we never heard of this. It's called the
Yeah.
Shenango Valley Werewolf."
Hmm.
Okay, so I went on a deep dive looking into that, and this particular one talked of a smaller creature they called the Dog Boy,
Hmm.
which kind of led to our studies in the Dogman field. And
Yeah.
myself and Fred and even Terry, we would give presentations. We were the first ones around here,
Hmm.
other than Jody Cook in Ohio and Linda, who actually
Hmm.
talked about the Dogman. And we were ridiculed. We're like, "Oh yeah, now you're talking werewolves, Brian. You've really lost it." Because when people think of Dogman, as far as what it looks like a Hollywood werewolf, and everybody's seen a werewolf
Hmm.
movie, Silver Bullet, American Werewolf in London.
Yeah.
And if you, this is what people were, at least the ones that we have, the sightings that we have, it looks like an upright wolf. You take the biggest wolf you can, put it on two legs, and
Hmm.
this is what this dog man looks like. And I tell you, it's one of the most controversial ones we do because
Wow.
there's no records, no fossil records of any kind of, canid cryptid that walks on two.
Yeah.
And but when you talk to the actual people and you talk to the eyewitnesses, they're like, they'll tell you, they'll say, "Hey, I know this sounds crazy,
Hmm.
but I saw something that looks like a werewolf." I
Wow.
call them Hollywood werewolves,
Yeah.
uh, and it's a subject. I mean, even when I talk about it, there's like a disbelief. I'm like, it makes no sense.
Hmm.
But people are seeing it, and it seem to be seeing it more, or as sometimes I like to say, they're reporting it more.
Yeah.
We don't get all the sightings of any of these creatures, even Bigfoot. For as many as we get, there's always it's kind of like an unwritten ratio. Like for every Bigfoot report you receive, there's 5 or 6 that you don't. Now
Yeah.
those can go up to 10 or whatever, but um, you could see that although Bigfoot has gained the most popularity,
Hmm.
there's still um, like a ridicule factor. So I posted this thing today in the Burgettstown Facebook page. Has anyone
Hmm.
had any sightings of a Bigfoot or any other strange creatures? And nine and a half out of 10 like
Yeah.
laughed at me. Oh yeah, there's some people with down at Walmart or things like that. Ha ha ha. I saw the Loch Ness monster at this dam. But I did receive kind of uh, two different reports that I'm in the process of following up. And this is why I do this, because I do, for every 10 people that mock me, right, I get 1 or 2
Yeah.
that I can follow up on. Hey, can I come to your place? You may have activity there, things like that. Can we come? Do
Hmm.
you have any footprints? Any solid proof, pictures, things like that.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I mean, I'll take the ridicule because I'm kind of used to it by now. But hey, all it takes is
Yeah.
one solid report. Maybe just like hitting the lottery. Maybe I hit the Powerball with this thing and get the absolute proof. Probably not going to happen, I know, but
Yeah.
you still got to hold out hope.
Yeah. Yeah, but of all the theories of what these cryptids might be, where they might come from, whether it's like interdimensional or extraterrestrial. Oh, the kitty just
That's
went
my
across the
interdimensional
screen.
kitten.
Oh, I love it.
Kitty.
I love it. If you're whoever's watching the video version of this, there's a kitty cat just went across the screen. So, aw.
Well, here he is, but he's grabbing it. There he is in the background.
Uh, but yeah, what I was saying was like, what theories about these creatures, like, in your opinion, are the most plausible? Like, as far as, like I said, like where they come from, what they might actually be. Are they left over from like some type of ancient species, or are they like more interdimensional, extraterrestrial? Do they come through portals? Like, what are your thoughts?
Yes. Yes on all of them.
Yes,
The thing is,
yes, yes, and yes. Yeah.
we always like to say, and if you even hear one of my podcasts, I'm going to say the same thing over and over, is we just don't know.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to put everything in a nice, neat little box. They want black and white. They don't want it gray. They don't want a shade of gray.
Yeah.
These creatures could be different species, different things. There could be
Hmm.
a flesh and blood animal out there.
Yeah.
Some could be interdimensional. Some could be extraterrestrial. Uh, One of the new theories that I'm just hearing is maybe this creature uses it can use a 0 point energy and somehow
Hmm.
slip into, which would look like uh, it being invisible, but only
Hmm.
invisible to you. So there are so many theories, and I'm right on the fence about it. The one thing I've always said, and another thing that I will state over and over, there's a missing piece in the Bigfoot puzzle.
Yeah.
It's a missing piece. To
Hmm.
think that it's just an undiscovered primate, I really do believe we would have a lot more evidence than what we do. I really believe that. Whether I'm
Yeah.
right or wrong, I just don't care whether I'm right or wrong. I don't.
Uh-huh.
I tell people the truth, what I feel in my heart, and the phenomenon is going to be what it is.
Hmm.
It's not going to be what I want or what you want. And
Yeah.
I really do think there may be different answers for all of it. Now, I know that might sound like a cop out, and if it does, I'm sorry, but I'm not gonna lie to you just to you know
Right.
promote an agenda, because I have no agenda. My agenda in all this is to see one.
Yeah.
whether it be a Mothman or a Bigfoot or a dog man. See one
Mhm.
for myself, just to prove to myself and that little kid in the 70s sitting there watching all these shows that, hey, you didn't waste your time. There's something to this. And I really believe there's
Mhm.
something to all this phenomena. I mean, we have hundreds and hundreds of newspaper articles up there,
Yeah.
books, magazines. So this phenomena has been going on a long time,
Mhm.
all the phenomena, whether it be UFOs,
Yeah.
ghosts, and you know about the ghost end of it too, especially.
Oh yeah.
Uh, you just can't discount it. And
Right.
like today's society, I call it like a 1 day society. So, okay, we bomb Iran in the morning. Okay, just
Mhm.
so then everybody comes on. They're a war expert. They're an economic expert. They're a terrorist.
Yeah.
Okay, and you hear it, and you're boom, boom. There's so many things. Boom.
Mhm.
Next day, there's another topic that comes out. Boom, boom, boom. But the Bigfoot phenomena, a lot of these, they continue to happen and continue to occur, time
Yeah.
after time. So what does that tell you? To me, there has to be something to it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Absolutely. No, I agree. I mean, like you said, we may not have all the answers or really any answers as to like what exactly they might be. We may only just have our theories. But there's been enough witnesses, especially with like Bigfoot, especially with Bigfoot, but even like, with like, with Dogman and, Bogman and the Mothman and all these other,
Goat man, forgot about Goat man.
yeah. But even with all of them, it's like, when you look at the accounts of like the people that saw them, that, it's like they seem very, they seem credible. They don't seem like, okay, they're making something up, or, and that's the thing too. It's like enough people see the same thing, in order, and it's not, and it's just, but it's like when enough people see the same exact thing and have like the same experience, like within the span of like the same time, it kind of makes you go like, like maybe there's something to that, maybe that they come, we don't know where they come from, but they're coming from somewhere. And another area of fascination for me, and this is more of like a probably we're going more up into northern Canada, is the Wendigo. Like
Yeah.
I'm that's kind of like a fascination for me, because I've read, some accounts where it's like, it's a walking giant basically, and then other accounts where it's like it's a wind spirit. It depends on who you talk to, or which version of the experience that somebody had. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, yeah. The Wendigo, out of all the cryptids or semi cryptids or near cryptids, the one I've done the least amount on is the Wendigo. I have our
Uh-huh.
friend Leah, which, if you remember Leah, she was on the alien panel with my wife,
Oh,
and
okay.
yeah, she's done a lot of research on the Wendigo.
Yeah.
Um, so could it be? Is it an interdimensional entity, a
Yeah.
spiritual entity? But some people say
Mhm.
that they've seen this creature,
Yeah.
varying looks, things like that.
Mhm.
Um, well, cannibalistic, one that you probably
Yeah.
don't want to meet.
Cannibalistic giant, whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. So
Yeah. But
what?
I
What?
think,
what go ahead.
yeah.
Sorry.
But I think what really I think turns up the creep factor for me, for the Wendigo, is just the fact that, that's way, way up in northern Canada, where there's like pretty much, as far as I know, at least, nothing but forest, because a lot of the civilization of Canada, at least, like I said, is I'm not a Canada expert, but from like what I've, heard, and like, people, that I know that are from Canada, most of it is like it's more down toward the border of Canada and the US is where most people live. And
Mhm.
but then it's like when you go further up, it's basically just all like forest and woods and mountains. And for me, it's kind of like the same thing as the ocean, where we've only explored like a small amount of that. And what really is, underneath that, what really is in that forest, what really is, in that ocean. And and people that have like been out on the ocean late at night have heard some really, really weird and unearthly stuff, and some claim to have even seen some pretty weird and unearthly stuff that don't match any type of like marine animal that we know. So it's kind of like one of those things, like with the Wendigo, like a lot of that comes from like that northern part of Canada, and that's what's just so mysterious about it, because it's like you go up there and there's probably like barely any civilizations at all, and whereas with Dogman and Mothman and Bigfoot, it's like those actually, like sightings for those, like you typically took place like, okay, like around civilization and everything, like especially the Mothman, because apparently the Mothman was like trying to warn people ahead of time about the Silver Bridge. Like that's one of the beliefs of why the Mothman appeared when he did. And even though Dogman's not as helpful, he's a lot more destructive, it's still like we see him around civilization. So yeah, like it's a fascination, but for me, like what really turns up the creep factor for the Wendigo is the fact that not only is it kind of like a relatively unknown entity, but he's, it, whatever, is up into, or she, I mean, there could be lady Wendigos too, but yeah, but like, we're talking like way, way up in the forest, where probably like, which is probably like a big mystery in and of itself. And, probably full of like portals and things like that,
And
yeah.
I do actually think that there is something to the portal theory, that
Hmm.
somehow some of these creatures can bleed in or bleed out, however you want to say,
Yeah.
uh, maybe change their frequency, their density.
Right.
Again, we don't know for sure, but I want to show you this. This
Uh-huh.
is
Sure.
one of my newer things here that we've been working on for a little bit. Is well, everybody's seen the movie The Predator, right?
Hmm.
With Arnold, get to the chopper. So there is the Predator, which is an alien who
Hmm.
can blend in with the background. It can cloak itself.
Yeah.
Okay. So I've just been reading this book. I don't know if you could see it here,
Oh yeah. Yeah, Glimmerman.
Glimmerman, and I
Yeah.
believe I did talk about it at a couple of the
Hmm.
panels. We call it we actually, our nickname for it is a shimmering predator type entity, because
Oh.
people know the predator, and they know that, like, you'll see an outline
Uh-huh.
of something big, but you see
Yeah.
through it. You'll see the trees through it, and it'll be moving. And in this book, there's actually the one report we took from Raccoon State Park, which
Hmm.
isn't that far from us here in where we live in Weirton. And the guy was fishing at the upper lake, and he looked down and he sees like a silhouette of this thing. He didn't know what
Hmm.
it was. You
Yeah.
know, it was big, but he saw the silhouette and he saw through it. And then it must have turned, and he saw two yellow eyes staring at him.
Yeah.
Still sees the silhouette of it.
Uh-huh.
Um, and the interesting thing about the movie Predator, which is in this book, which I
Mhm.
found out, the man the man who did the special effects for the
Mhm.
Predator,
Oh.
okay, his name was Joel, and then wait for the last name,
Okay.
Hynek. Does Hynek
Oh.
ring a bell?
What was it?
J. Hynek.
Oh.
J. Allen Hynek. If you remember, everybody in UFOs remembers who J. Allen
Oh,
Hynek.
yeah. Okay.
That was his son
Oh.
who did the special effects on the Predator. Now, I didn't know this until I read this book, and I actually posted about it about a week ago. And
Hmm.
no, a lot of other people didn't know that either. And he apparently won an Academy Award for uh, special effects in Robin Williams' movie What Dreams May Come, where he
Oh, okay. Yeah.
goes into heaven to see his dead wife and things like that. And
Hmm.
uh, but so everybody says, "Wow, what did he know? What did his dad tell him about some of the
Yeah.
sightings?" And then all of a sudden,
Yeah.
he does the special effects for the Predator. I think that's a little more than a coincidence, and
Yeah.
it's really the first time I've talked about this. I know I'm going to include it in my presentations now because
Yeah.
people go, "Wow, I
Interesting.
didn't know that."
Uh-huh. Yeah, what are your thoughts on the bog man?
The what?
The bog man?
Well, I've heard of the Boggy Creek Monster.
I'm sorry?
I've heard of the Boggy Creek
The
Monster.
bog, yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that was allegedly a Bigfoot in Fouke, Arkansas.
Mm-hmm.
There has been sightings across the United States of creatures living in swamps
Yeah.
around there's the one. Geez, I'm at a loss for where it is. It's a famous one. I can't think of it right now because I'm getting old. But there was one down south.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, there was a creature that lived by a swamp too.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, if a lot of people don't go back deep into swamps because you can't. I mean, you'll
Yeah.
sink or go in an airboat or something.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, what better place for one of these creatures to hide?
Yeah. Yeah. And like what is your research method? Like do you have like a particular like, you know, step plan as far as like whenever you like say, "Hey, I'd like to research this creature here." Like do you have like a method of research, or do you just kind of like dig into all of the information at once that you can get your hands on?
Well, we always kind of like to start with back sightings, history of an area,
Mhm.
uh, whether it could maybe sustain a creature or at least have a creature
Right.
pass through.
Uh-huh.
And uh, then if we get a report, then we try to talk to the person on the phone,
Mhm.
okay, and see if it's, you kind of get a feel, was it real? Should we follow up on this? And then we do say, hey, is it, especially if it's a newer one, and
Mhm.
even if it is, we'll say, is it possible we can come on your property and look around?
Yeah.
We like to look around, look for signs, even if it's an older report. Could there still be signs of something in the area? That's what's important. Then you look for footprints. Um, Even though I'm not 100% vested in this tree structure phenomena where they get the
Mhm.
trees and bow them or they make nests,
Yeah.
put X's. I'm not 100% sold on that, but we do look for that
Mhm.
in conjunction with, other things. And
Yeah.
then if it's newer or if they have a recent sighting, we can go back out at night or especially maybe see if we can get to the properties around it.
Mhm.
And then, we take our equipment, hopefully, recorders, you know, night vision to see if we can catch uh,
Yeah.
anything on that. And so far, no luck on that. But we keep trying. But that's if we would find a print, we would cast it because I carry
Yeah.
plaster on my. I carry like a basically a fly fishing vest with
Mhm.
plaster, water. So I'm mobile, so I can go in the woods and just, hey, if I see something, you get a stick, and I have
Yeah.
a little dog bowl that comes up like this, and you can mix your plaster in it. So yeah,
Mhm.
um, we haven't really. Um, our group hasn't really found any. We found imprints that look like, but they're not embedded enough. You can't take a. We take pictures of them and note them and things like that, but you can't really cast them.
Mhm.
So one of our members did cast a real thin one up in Elk County,
Mhm.
and he was able to get there through another researcher.
Mhm.
That what happened there is they have a carport and they have some gravel on the carport, and something walked in at night and banged on the house, and then it
Mhm.
went away. So through one researcher to another, we have friends Dave and Carrie Rupert. They went up there and they did cast that next afternoon.
Mhm.
Looked like a really big print, like a human like print. It was really thin, but Dave did a fantastic job to get. And I ended up breaking a little bit. We still have it, but a piece of it broke off. But
Mhm.
um, he was able to get there, and they actually took pictures of the wet spot. Like it was like it was in the middle of the night, so the creature, his feet was probably wet, and you see the
Yeah.
imprint.
Mhm.
Yeah, and then he was able
Wow.
to build a little like a base around it, and then cast it. So, but yeah, that's the method. And then
Yeah.
you follow up with the eyewitness. You check for other reports closely. Whatever else we've gotten.
Mhm.
One interesting ones that we got was we got a
Yeah.
series of white Bigfoot reports, and I might have mentioned this at the panels.
Yeah.
Um, in Beaver County. We used to live. We lived in Beaver County all our lives, except
Uh-huh.
3 years we lived in Mercer, and now we live down here for it'll be 5 in August. But so people were seeing, which basically amounted to a white Bigfoot, a
Mm.
Bigfoot that was white, and
Yeah.
we had like 2 reports in Beaver County,
Hmm.
actually more, but 2 that were like right across into Beaver Creek State Park, which that is one of our favorite areas to research.
Okay.
We've had more
Cool.
more things happen there. Beaver Creek. I don't know if you've ever been there.
Um,
Beaver Creek,
Beaver Creek,
Columbiana County.
like a few, like I think I was there like a few years ago or something like that. But yeah, now I have a reason to like go back. So
Yeah, the ghost of Gretchen apparently is down there too. So it's a really cool place. They've had UFO sightings. So yeah, a lot of
yeah.
different things happen there. And so that's basically what we try to do for an
Mhm.
investigation. And we try to go on not as much anymore because it's harder to get a group together. We'll go on a night off, or we'll stay at a location. Like we've done
Right.
about 5 or 6 times at Beaver Creek. And had some interesting sounds. We heard some interesting sounds there.
Hmm.
We had a rock thrown at us
Ooh.
from a hill right above. Right there's a place called Hambleton's Mill,
Oh
and there's a
wow.
trail that goes into the woods. And we were we were walking. There was 4 of us, me and Terry, and then Carrie and Dave Rupert. You hear me talk
Uh,
about them a lot. There was a big hill off to the left, and a
hmm.
rock came flying from that hill into a pond that was right next to us. And
Wow.
Carrie saw it. So, Carrie actually saw the rock go in, and then the concentric rings come out. It wasn't a uh, like a beaver that went up and then slapped its
Yeah,
tail. She
I was
actually
gonna say,
saw the
and you
rock.
guys, there was no way of like knowing like where the rock came from or anything.
No, we theorized it was right next to us on that hill. So Dave and I tried to get up there as quick as we can. Of course, we
Yeah.
found nothing. But was it a person? I don't know why and a person I
Why
don't
would
think would have had that arm that would have been able to get it all the way up from that hill to the pond. I mean, it was a good distance. So
Yeah.
um, that's one of
Wow.
our favorite places to go.
Yeah. Wow, that would be kind of creepy there because it's just like, yeah, like where'd that come from and why are they throwing rocks at us, you know?
Yeah, and they say that that's what the Bigfoot do to get you out of an area. They'll
Hmm.
yell, make noises, crash trees, throw rocks.
Yeah.
They just want you out of their area, their home.
Hmm.
And sometimes you've heard of bluff charges that happen. And
Wow.
uh, let's face it, if these things wanted to hit you with the velocity of some of these rocks, they could kill you.
Oh yeah.
But they don't.
Yeah. Yeah. Just be like, we come in peace. We just want to know more about you, kind of thing. Yeah, yeah, but wow, but that's quite an experience having a rock thrown at you, possibly by a Bigfoot, you know. So would there be like a location, like a cryptid location that you like to frequently go to, or that you feel the most drawn to, or maybe one where you think you've seen the most activity at?
It, definitely Beaver Creek.
Beaver Creek?
Yeah,
Cool.
definitely.
So
That's our favorite.
go to
And
Beaver Creek. Yeah. 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 Wow. Cool. And as far as like where like you'll be speaking at your work and all that stuff, like where can people find you and like, maybe follow some of your work and what you're doing?
well, basically, on Facebook, we do most of our stuff on Facebook.
Hmm.
You can go to Center for Crypto Studies on Facebook, or Center
Yeah.
for Unexplained Events, or probably the quickest way is just to send me a friend request, or send me a message on my page, Brian Seech, and
Yeah.
we will get back to you. That's
Mhm.
probably it's always been the easiest to hit Facebook up. I mean, some people do email us. We have an email, Center for
Mhm.
uh, that's Center for Crypto Studies at gmail.com. Sometimes I don't check my email all the time. So, yeah, so the best way, especially when to get in touch with me quick, is to do Facebook.
Facebook. Cool, cool. And what advice like would you have for somebody like maybe wanting to start to research these cryptids? Whether it's, Bigfoot, Mothman, Dogman, any other creature that, you know, somebody else might come across and find a fascination with. Like, what advice would you have, like, as far as, you know, research goes, and maybe getting started in something like this?
Well, one of the things that we did, but we're old school too. Uh, we always hit old newspaper articles,
Mm-hmm.
archives, libraries.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Now the newer researcher goes on internet. You type in Bigfoot and PA, and a lot of these
Yeah.
things you can pick it right off of there. But what a lot of the people don't realize is not everything about these cryptids and not all these newspaper articles are always readily available. We have a
Right.
lot of old magazines, probably 12 bins of magazines
Uh-huh.
that certain articles and certain stories are in there. And if you don't have these magazines, they disappear. A lot of it
Mm-hmm.
is, researching areas too.
Mm-hmm.
Traditionally, uh, like a place like Beaver Creek, Salt Fork State Park.
Yeah.
If you type on them, stories will come up, and you can get times and look for patterns, look for commonalities. Like
Mm-hmm.
where we used to live in Beaver County, the reports we used to get there were almost cyclical. They were almost, I would say, they would start in September and
Mm-hmm.
then end in January. I mean, we got a couple
Wow.
in the summer and things like that, but they always tend to cluster in the fall,
Mm-hmm.
late fall, early winter, and then you don't seem to get them. You might get some occasional ones in the summer,
Yeah.
but it seems like, certain areas, if some people say, if they migrate, do they migrate to an area with more food? Do they follow the
Mm-hmm.
patterns?
Yeah.
Again, I just say we just kind of let uh, the pattern speak for themselves. If
Mm-hmm.
we're getting 10 reports in October, because there's been over 35 some sightings
Mm-hmm.
in Beaver County,
Yeah.
then it's a good bet that you're going to have a better chance at some of these locations in the fall. So
Mm-hmm.
again, it also a lot of what we do, like down here in uh, West Virginia, the people don't really come out and talk to you as much. Now we've been here, like I
Yeah.
said, we've been here almost 5 years, and our friend Fred was here like 15, and
Mm-hmm.
he always had a hard time too to get people to talk to him.
Mm-hmm.
Now we did some Thomason Run Park events, and we did a lot of events around here.
Yeah.
People were starting to come out. They start to come out, but there's still a lot of them you know, don't want to tell you about stories and things happening that
Yeah.
they think we'll laugh at them. It's like, and I tell them, I'm like, hey, buddy, they're gonna laugh at us for doing it, not you for seeing it. And besides,
Right. Yeah.
we don't tell people. We give confidentiality. Let's say you
Yeah.
reported
We're not
something in
gonna like put the
Allegheny County.
camera on you if you don't want us to, you know? Yeah.
Yeah, we'll say, hey, we received a report from Allegheny County uh, of a creature, walking across the road and then disappearing, or things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever your account was, is what we report. Now we leave out details. We always leave out names, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Some people don't want to tell us exactly, so we give them a county, Allegheny County. You
Yeah.
know, they don't want you. We don't want to say, Tiffany's house. Everybody's coming to your house looking for Bigfoot,
I
but no, we
know,
don't do.
like, where's this creature at? You know?
Yeah, yeah, and you really do. You have to protect, you know, um, but we have people that won't even give you. Oh, we received 10 reports from that area. Well, can you tell me about them? No, I can't tell you one thing about them. I'm like,
Yeah.
I mean, we're not asking for names. Can you give
Right.
us just maybe what the creature looked like, a date? Maybe not even dates, like a time of year, summer, but they don't want to
Mm-hmm.
give anything, and that doesn't help anybody either.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you have to always give, watch for confidentiality, but still,
Absolutely.
we gotta work together and try to help each other too. So,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. And the million-dollar question that I ask people that study these cryptids, if you were to actually run into Bigfoot and see Bigfoot face to face, what would you do?
I've replayed that 1,000 times in my mind.
Uh,
Honestly, I really have. I'm like, we thought we saw. Well, we did kind of see like two, almost looked like two saucer-shaped eyes over here in the hill. First
ooh,
year we were here at night.
uh-huh,
My wife saw it, and I went back inside, and I came back out, and this time I had a flashlight, and I
uh-huh.
scanned the hillside, and then I saw one like down further here,
Wow.
and then it peeked behind a tree, and then it left.
Mm-hmm.
I'm curious now. This is a major hill, so couldn't go running up it. I mean,
Yeah.
but the one thing that happened, it's kind of funny, a couple years ago, and this might tell myself what I would probably do, and maybe not. It's a good thing. So we were down at Point Pleasant with our friend Steve Ward,
Uh-huh.
me, Terry, and Leah, and with Steve Ward, and we were
Yeah,
trying to
Steve
run
Ward,
some of our, yeah, you know,
doesn't
Steve.
he study the Mothman?
Yep, yep,
Yep.
yep,
Got this
and
from the Mothman Museum. He's
yep,
my buddy. So,
yeah, I got one similar to that too. Yeah.
woo.
So we have a frequency machine which we use. We try to
Mm-hmm.
emit frequencies to try to interact with a phenomena, whether it's the light spheres, the light balls, or
Yeah.
spirits. But it wasn't working. It's almost
Mm-hmm.
like, I don't know if the battery's drained. So I says, hey, uh, I'm gonna go get something that we might be able to jump our thing, because it takes a battery or power. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm walking back along this trail to get to the road to where we were parked on the other side.
Yeah.
And I walk, and I'm always glancing in the woods, always glance. And I look, and I stopped, and I'm like looking. I see two red, look
Ooh.
like eyes in the woods.
Oh. Oh man.
And the first
Wow.
thing I said out loud, I go, "You've got to be kidding!" And I have my flashlight with me, so I'm shining it, and I start walking toward it, which kind of tells me, "Hey, you dummy, you're probably gonna go right after or walk to it, and who knows what's gonna
Yeah.
happen." But then when I stopped, they didn't move. So I went like this. I got closer, and I'm like, somebody put two bike reflectors on a tree as a joke. And it was in the woods. It wasn't like it was right up in the woods. It was in the
Yeah.
back. You had to
Uh-huh.
look.
Yeah.
And I'm at first, you're scared to death, and then I walk toward it, and I see it's like two red bike reflectors,
Oh
and
wow.
I'm like, I don't know if I was relieved or pissed because
Yeah.
somebody did that. But for one split, a couple split seconds, I'm like, you got to be kidding me.
Wow.
Yeah,
Woo.
and I told them about it, and they laughed. I'm like, you wouldn't have laughed if you saw it.
Yeah. Well, it's one of those things too. It's like it's kind of like, do you run away or do you like wait to see like what exactly it is? And if a Bigfoot actually does come out of the shadows and is like, hey, what's up?
Well, I want to see it like the proof to me would override, I think, fear, unless if it's a dog man, or when they're
Uh-huh.
gonna know I'm going the other way, okay.
Yeah.
But um, I think the proof, because I want proof before we're done doing this, and just just one sighting is all I ask for, you know.
Hmm.
And but yeah, I do replay that in there. What would I do? Would I be scared? Would I run?
Yeah.
Probably not for Bigfoot would I run. Just too much time and money invested in that
Right.
just to run away.
To just throw away and just like not run and just like run away and just be like, oh man, I've been waiting my whole life for this.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Cool. Yes. Well, thank you so much for coming on and everything. It was definitely a very fascinating discussion. And I know you said you're going to go do a little bit of research nearby on someone's property or something like that.
Hopefully, I might be finding out here, soon. I mean, I hope so. I'm gonna try,
Uh-huh.
and I know that it's kind of fairly not too far from where we live, which is good.
Yeah.
Um, I like to connect the dots, and maybe, hey, you can follow a pattern. Hey, maybe they'll be seen here next. It's
Uh-huh.
kind of like a puzzle. A lot of this is kind of like detective work, like a puzzle, trying to put pieces of a puzzle together, and
Yeah. Yeah. Well, maybe we'll have to have
that's
you.
just exciting.
Yeah, maybe have to have you back on again and like see if like you find out anything else and yeah, but I think yeah, this is definitely a very very fascinating discussion and it's always cool to just see like just seeing the different perspectives of people that like research like cryptids, the paranormal, and just to see like what their approach is.
Hmm.
And I know like especially when I interviewed the Whispering Souls paranormal investigators, one thing that they do is they first try to debunk, something first. Like if they
Mhm.
experience something or whatever, they first try to debunk it with something that's like, okay, with like, I guess would be considered like realistic or whatever. And then if like they can't, realistically explain it, it's then they go, okay, now let's get these other theories going, which I think that's important too, because you don't want to just like, because because it's such, like paranormal, cryptids, extraterrestrials, things like that. It's such, it's like more people are talking about it now, I think, and more people, I think, are open to it. But it's still very, like, I don't know if taboo is the right word, but it's still, like, not based in everyday, I guess, experiences. And if, like, people don't, if it's not something someone's experiencing in their everyday life, in their normal kind of mundane everyday life, then it's just kind of like, oh, like that's nonsense, that's BS or whatever. So I think it is important, just for the sake of credibility, to kind of take that, you know like kind of like optimistic skeptic approach kind of thing. And then, if anything else, kind of like, when you thought you saw the red eyes and everything, and it's like, well, you know what, okay, I mean, but the fact that, you admit, okay, that's what, this is what it was, what it actually was, I think that only adds to your credibility, because you didn't just run away with the fact that, oh, I saw red eyes in the woods, and but I think that that's important too, though, to maintain that integrity, especially in, in this line of work that, like I said, I think more people are open to talking about now, but it's still kind of like, like, I don't know, like I said, I don't know if taboo is the right word, but like, but it's still kind of like, people are still like very, very skeptical, or still very jaded or something. So, yeah.
You're right. You always do have a skeptical eye
Hmm.
and see what it is. We always like to say, so you believe that there may be a Sasquatch. Tell me you know, what events happened that you could think that, and then if they start to, give us some of the things we've heard repeatedly, you know,
Hmm.
um, then they want us to come on their property, or uh, then it does lend more credibility.
Hmm.
Most people won't kind of waste your time, especially if they you can come on their property.
Yeah.
They'll hey, there's a reason we want you here. Can you find anything?
Hmm.
Could there be something to it?
Yeah.
Again, there's all those reports that we don't get,
Hmm.
which for all the groups, not just us, for all the groups out there, if they would get uh, even half of more of what they get, we would be flooded with reports. I mean, I am
Yeah.
sure of it. I mean, yeah,
Oh, yeah. Yeah. But yeah, but I think, like I said, it's, very, I'm always fascinated to talk to people that, like, research things like cryptids, the paranormal and stuff like that, because, that interests me as well. So I definitely appreciate you coming on and sitting down
sure.
with me and talking about this. And, we were joined by the Mothman here for those watching the video version. But yeah, so people again, one more time, can find you on Facebook, correct?
Yes, Center for Cryptozoological Studies and Center for Unexplained Events, or my personal page. Contact me at Brian Seech. And also, Terry and I will be at the next cryptid panel, which I believe April. Geez, I forget. Um, it's going to be a cryptid slash something else panel, but there's going to be groups of teams.
Oh,
It's at
cool.
Bethel Park Library, and I think, oh, is it like the 14th or something like that, or 7th? Again,
I'm sure it'll be advertised.
yeah, and we'll be
Yeah.
talking about cryptids more. If anyone wants to, see us and all the other great panelists, I don't know who else is all going to be on there yet,
Hmm.
but it's going to be fun. And the one thing you do have to do is, when you're doing this, be out with the right people.
Hmm.
Keep a skeptical eye. Oh, and enjoy. Here's the thing we tell people, especially if you're going out in the woods: enjoy the woods.
Enjoy.
Okay,
Oh,
enjoy
yeah.
getting out.
Hmm.
That's what's number one important. If you go out there expecting evidence every time, you're going to be disappointed probably 95% of the time or more. It's just
Right.
on those
Yeah.
rare occasions. Yeah, just enjoy the fact that you can get out there and, that we still have woods that aren't contaminated or, so
Yeah.
just enjoy that. We always say enjoy the search, enjoy nature first, and then
Yes.
whatever
Yeah,
comes. Yeah.
I agree. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Brian, for coming on.
Sure.
And yeah, maybe we'll have you on again and, see what some of your new findings are and all that stuff. But yes,
Sure.
I'll leave the link to your Facebook and stuff like in the description and everything and to all your
Okay.
cryptid research. And yeah, and stay tuned for the next like cryptids panel that Brian will be speaking on. And yeah, but I'd love to know like your thoughts on cryptids, my listeners and everything, and which cryptid fascinates you the most. Yeah, for me it's hard to choose because they all have their own really cool, just very mysterious qualities that
Mhm.
really just draws me and everything. And the fact that they're all so unique too. It's like and they all seem to have their own personalities, and I think that that's
Mhm.
really what fascinates me too. But yeah, but definitely check out Brian's what is it called, the cryptid research
A
center.
center for a center for cryptozoological studies. Yeah,
Okay, yeah,
it's
I
a
was
big
close.
word.
I was
Yeah.
close. I got, I was close.
Yeah.
But yes, definitely check that out. Check out Brian's work. And thank you everybody for listening. Thank you again, Brian, for coming on.
Thanks
And
for having me. Thanks for having
yes,
me.
yes, you're welcome. And to everybody out there, my listeners, make sure that, as always, you stay safe, stay fierce, but of course, stay spooky. All right. Thank you so much. Bye.